Legends await, so dubs on the run. No turtle is safe when he's on the hunt. Witness the sack, just give it a rub. Cause who knows what you'll find. Toy hunting with Dub.
Hello friends, welcome to another Top 10 bonus episode. And a Thursday, we've had a bunch of weeks, or a bunch of days of Dub videos in a row. Hope you're enjoying that. We're on the push to 5,000 subscribers. So please subscribe if you have not. We picked up about 50 in the last couple days, and we're only 50 away. And then we're going to do a very large 5,000 subscriber giveaway, which will have its own video that we'll talk about when we get there. But we want to help some other folks in that and give over $500 worth of stuff away, or somewhere around there, stuff away. So please subscribe if you haven't. Of course, don't forget to use the hashtag bigdubfit. All you got to do is use hashtag bigdubfit on every YouTube video I post. Leave one comment, a positive thing you did for yourself today. You'll be entered into a drawing to win $25 right in your PayPal. And then, of course, the Big Bad Toy Store link is in the description. Please click it when you get a chance. You don't have to buy anything. If you do, great. If you pre-order, great. But just browse. Helps the channel. All that out of the way. So far, I've had a good week. I really committed that I'd have a strong week this week. In July would be a good month for me. Each morning, I'm recording this Wednesday. You're watching this Thursday. I've got up early in the morning, walked the dog at least a mile. We walked over 2 miles this morning. Then I did some dumbbells, weightlifting, and then kickboxing all 3 days. So I'm really happy with that effort. But none of that's why you're here. The top 10 is what we're here for. And this one's a little different. The Gateway Collectibles, a top 10 video. Now, Dub, what do you mean by Gateway Collectibles? Well, we've heard, or a lot of us have heard over the years, that there's such a thing as a gateway drug, right? A certain drug or alcohol or something that is the gateway for you to do more of a given thing, right? A gateway is your doorway, your gate to get into more of whatever said thing is. Oftentimes, gateway is used in a negative connotation like we just talked about. I'm not using it negatively here. I'm just using it broadly as the term that it is. What are collectibles that are a gateway for us as collectors to get further into collectibles? How do we go from one little thing to all of this? How does that happen? It happens through things that are a gateway, right? I would argue most of the things that are on this list, there was a time you didn't know it existed, right? Maybe long ago, but you didn't have an understanding that it existed. And we got twofold here. We've got things that are a gateway for us to start collecting at all, right? Or to start over collecting, or whatever the case may be. And then we have things that are gateways to make us go deeper into the collection, right? Make us get more and more and more. We talked on our top 10 reasons why people collect video, that the nature and the notion of collect them all, you gotta have them all, the checklist, all that stuff is what companies want to do. I think if you hear Matt Cardona say this all the time, it is toy business. It's not toy hobby or whatever it is, right? It is the toy business. For us, it's a hobby. For the companies making this stuff, they want to make money, and they want to make as much money as possible. They want to maximize their profits. That's what business is. Just like all of us at our jobs, we want to get paid the most. The people that run these businesses want to get paid the most. It's just the way it is. It may be passion to an extent, but it's still work. It's still people at work. They're trying to maximize their profits. So one way they do that is they get us to keep coming back. They get us into a gateway where we keep coming back for more and more and more. And yes, they'll buy this figure again. And yes, they'll buy this repaint. If we add one extra accessory, they'll get it. And if we change the packaging, they'll get it. And they'll keep buying it. And they'll keep buying it. And they'll keep buying it. And we're reusing the same molds and making more and more money. It's business. It's what it is. It's just the way it works, right? So let's talk about this is in my opinion, right? Obviously, you can have your own Gateway Collectibles. Before we go any further, though, if you do like these, please let me know in the comments. These are a lot easier for me to do because I can just do it on a 20-minute break from work, lunch break, breakfast, before work, whatever, and I don't have to go out and hunt around. I'm still doing plenty of hunts, as you see, but things like this, a lot of people enjoy when I do them on live streams. But the time to live stream has become pretty challenging, just as I've talked about, like finding time to work out. So it's hard for me to sit down for 2 hours and live stream right now. So I can able to record it like this. I try to make them a premiere so we can interact in the chat. Let me know if this is a thing you like, these types of videos talking about stuff like this. But let's get into it. The top 10 Gateway Collectibles. All right, number 10, and for even me recently, this is a new thing, but it is movie theater memorabilia. Now, what I mean by that is items that you see when you're going to see the movie. The best example we have right now is all these popcorn tins. When did it happen that there were endless popcorn tins? for movies that were in demand and being sold on eBay for double, triple the price. When did that start to happen? Now, I remember there's always been popcorn tins, right? You always could get some form of just branded. It's maybe cardboard even, but it would have the movie printed on it. And then they started having the plastic ones, and maybe they came with a free refill or whatever the case may be. And you got that, you got free refill as an upcharge, but you got something that said Avengers on it or whatever. But now we're in the era, if I think about the most recent movies we've went to see, when we saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, they had the Ecto-1 as a popcorn tin, which Natalie found for me. That thing is cool. It lights up. I think it makes noise. I'm not going to make noise, but it definitely lights up. It doesn't hold very much popcorn, but it's really cool. The Top Gun Maverick popcorn tin looks like a cockpit of a plane, and it's metal. The Thor 4 popcorn tin is Mjolnir. It's really cool. And it doesn't hold that much popcorn, and I think those things are like $30 when you buy them, but they come with popcorn at the theater. But now there are actual collectibles. And the reason I talk about this as a gateway collectible, but it's at the top of the list, right? As we get down the list, you'll see the things that everybody relates to. But for some people, they go to the movie, they say, okay, I like Top Gun. I'm going to go see the movie. And they go, oh, I'm going to get a popcorn. Anyway, I'm going to pay $5 more. I get that cool tin. Man, that thing's cool. And then they go, well, what else is there for Top Gun? Is there any other collectibles out there for that? Maybe that's not a great example because there aren't any, but let's say they were seeing something like Jaws or a horror movie, and then all of a sudden they find NECA, and they start buying a couple NECA things, right? It's a gateway. It's something that at the moment, at the hype moment where you're going to see the thing, you're excited for it, you'll spend extra money to get a collectible. And then they've got you a little bit, and maybe you'll buy more. Maybe not. We keep buying more popcorn tins. Suddenly, I feel like I'm collecting popcorn tins. When did that start? I don't even know. It started because one was cool, and then another was cool, and next thing you know, I've got 4, 5, 6 of them. And we wanted the Thor one and couldn't find it, and we're frustrated. That was a gateway collectible. The first one we got was the Ecto one. We got a Black Widow popcorn tin, but it's just a plastic tin. It wasn't anything special. But the Ghostbusters one, and now we're looking at them every time. So that is the number 10 item. Number 9, a similar, but later in the process, is Steelbooks, right? Somehow I collect Steelbooks, and I never intentionally started collecting Steelbooks. I think a lot of folks collect Steelbooks. And Steelbooks, if you don't know, it's when the movie comes out. So it's been in the theater, and now it's being released for home viewing. And like a DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, I don't know that it's ever DVD anymore, but Blu-ray or 4K, and you get a collectible hard case, metal, it's got cool art on it, maybe it has some things on the inside of it, and it's a steelbook. The contents are still the movie, just like you could buy for way cheaper, but they're limited edition, and Best Buy only has certain ones, and Target only has certain ones, and I don't know if Walmart gets them, they only have certain ones. And now you're collecting the steelbooks. So I have, up until Endgame, all of the Marvel steelbooks from the MCU, all of them. And for DC, I think I have all of them up through maybe Birds of Prey, maybe. Or maybe one before that, Aquaman or Shazam. I have all of them. Why? I don't need those. But it's a movie I enjoyed, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to get the cool collectible piece from that sells out. I got to make sure I get it. I got to pre-order it so it doesn't sell out. And the next thing I know, I'm collecting steelbooks. Now, for some people always collected DVDs. I used to collect VHS tapes years ago. You get those steelbooks and you go, oh, this is cool. I wonder what else they make with it. Or it comes with some other little collectible item. And it's a gateway to get more of that thing and more of that thing. And you may never collect figures, but end up with a whole bunch of popcorn tins and steelbooks that you never really realized you were going to collect. It was a gateway to get more of your money. The same movie will go on Black Friday sale for $5 for 4K, but we'll pay $39.95 for that steelbook. To never look at again, to stick on a shelf with the same spine as the other and never look at it again. Same things in video games, steelbooks, the collectible art statues that come with that stuff. And both of those are a little different, and they're higher on the list because I think they appeal to a broader consumer base than a lot of figures do, right? There's a lot of people that'll buy DVDs or might buy a popcorn tin that aren't going to have this in their house, but they may buy that. And eventually they may get them to buy a figure, right? So it's all the marketing, and like that stuff is all being controlled by Disney. Like they're pushing these products out. So if you want a Marvel product of some sort, Disney wants to license it to somebody to make it because they know you'll come back and buy another piece of licensed merchandise and another piece of licensed merchandise. If you research how much the Star Wars movies and television shows have made compared to the Star Wars merchandise. The Star Wars merchandise is 4 or 5 multiplier of what the TV shows and movies made, because people will buy it and they'll keep buying it. And in that category, you could also have t-shirts, things that you're going to buy that aren't figures, so to speak, but you like the thing, you're going to get it, and you're going to get it at a Target or a Walmart when you see it. And I think Steelbooks is a great example, because a lot of folks collect Steelbooks that you don't realize. People don't necessarily advertise their Steelbook collection, but a lot of folks get it, and it's just another gateway. All right, next, this may not apply for a lot of people, but I think it does for a fair amount, and that's the Diamond Gallery, specifically these statues. These Diamond Select, all right, it's not Diamond, it's just Diamond makes some statues that you see in GameStops, you start to see in Walmarts now, you often saw in comic stores, and sometimes you only see these in comic stores, right? A lot of comic stores aren't carrying figures that you see in Walmart because they can't compete with the pricing of a Walmart, right? You see your action figures $5-6 higher in a comic store than as a Walmart because they can't get the bulk pricing. But for things like Diamond, because they're ordering all of their comics through the Diamond catalog, they can get these statues that are $40, $50 and look really good. Like these Diamond PVC statues from the outside, you go, man, that's great. That's a really good statue. You pick it up, it's hollow, it's really light. It's not nearly as nice as you think it is, but it looks good. And it's usually posed really well in its pose, and it has effects. And you see it, and these are in places where other stuff isn't always there, and you go, I'll pick this up. I like Thor. I'll get this diamond statue of Thor with lightning all over it. And that becomes a gateway to bigger statue collecting. Once you get one of them cheap statues, of course, Diamond has Diamond Premier, I think it's called. They have statues that are $200 or $300. And then you start to go down that rabbit hole, and you look at Sideshow statues, and you look at Tweeterhead statues, and you look at Iron Studios statues, and then you go even further, and you go to XM and Prime 1 and so forth and so on. And that little $40 Diamond Gallery statue, you blink and all of a sudden you're buying $1,000 statues. I don't know if you probably can't see them, but up there I have the PCS turtle statues. You might be able to see a little bit of a foot or something. And I would have never thought, those are shipped to your house like $750, $800 by the time they get to your house each. I would have never thought I'd be a person that would buy a $700, $800 statue, but it started buying little Diamond Gallery statues and going, you know what, I like the statue. It doesn't fall over. I don't have to worry about posing it. And it looks better than a figure does. Why don't I have more of these? But I don't really like this one. And then you start to Google and you go, ooh, this one looks really cool, but it's way more expensive. And you start to justify it in your head and you go, well, that's the same thing as a wave of action figures. Let me pick that up, right? It's a gateway that leads you further down the path of a collectible. And I think they make I feel like those statues are a great value at the $40, $50 price point. They really are. They're big, they look good, but they're hollow, right? They're not the greatest material. I think they're PVC. And they are certainly, again, well, they were for me. First statues I ever bought were Diamond Gallery. I think probably most of you have bought at least one in your time. So that's number 8. Number 7, and this is more of a niche audience, but I think it happens to a lot of us, and that's prop replicas. Prop replicas, definitely a gateway collectible. For people that, again, that may not collect this stuff, but you see a sword from Game of Thrones that you like, or you see the Iron Man helmet, or you see a lightsaber. If you think about when you go to Galaxy's Edge, they have a whole thing where you can buy lightsabers. I don't imagine a lot of people are buying Star Wars action figures at Galaxy's Edge, but people are buying those doggone lightsabers. They have a whole store for them. And that's because they know, again, that's a broader audience that might buy a prop replica. Well, I doubt anybody's ever bought a single prop replica. You buy one, you're going to end up with more. I buy one Lord of the Rings sword, now I need all the Lord of the Rings swords. And I'm a completionist, but at the same time, there's an element of, oh, well, I have Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Surely I'm going to get Darth Vader's lightsaber, right? I got to have them both. And then you go, well, if I got Vader's lightsaber, don't I need Luke Skywalker's lightsaber? And on you go, right? It's a gateway to getting more and more and more. And then you end up with a random one that you didn't want, right? I have some swords that I'm like, why do I have this? I don't like this character, but I have their sword. Well, it's because I have the rest. It's because I have the rest. Recently, we were at Alabama Comic-Con. I was looking at swords that they had, some of the Lord of the Rings prop replicas from United Cutlery, and there's King Theoden's sword, which I don't have. It looks kind of cool. It's unique. Do I love or not love Theoden? I'm kind of neutral about him. I mean, he had some good character arcs, but I don't love him. Do I need that sword? No, but I'm sitting there thinking about it. because I have so many other Lord of the Rings swords. I have almost every named Lord of the Rings sword. So it's a gateway, right, to keep going. So prop replicas, especially, if I'm going to have the Iron Man helmet, oh, do I need the War Machine helmet? Well, I don't know, but do I need the arc reactor? Maybe I do. Oh, they released Black Panther's necklace or Spider-Man's web slingers? Ooh, right? It's the gateway. It gets us further and further. And so, like, some of these higher list things, once you buy one, you're going to buy a bunch. You're not just going to buy one. That's just the way I see it being. Number 6, and we'll start to get into the more traditional stuff here, is Hot Toys, right? And you say, Dub, Hot Toys is not a gateway, right? Like, most people can't afford that. Most people never get it. Why I'm calling it a gateway here is when you see one for the first time, you start trying to figure out, can I afford this or not? Can I get one? Once you see one, once you handle one in person, once you see a head sculptor, once you feel a die-cast Iron Man, or whatever the case may be, you start to go, now this is far superior to everything else I've been collecting. I need to find a way to get more of these. And with Hot Toys, it's also just 6-scale figures in general, but Hot Toys is the easiest one to talk about. And I think OG Geek, when he came to my house years ago, and back when I had my extensive Hot Toys, and you can see I still have like 100 plus, 125 6-scale figures. I have a ton of 6-scale figures. People think I don't collect 6-scale anymore because I sold my Marvel and Star Wars. I still collect a bunch. Power Rangers 6-scale, G.I. Joe 6-scale, X-Files 6-scale, Doctor Who 6-scale, Zelda 6-scale, Breaking Bad 6-scale, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Lord of the Rings, and I still have some Marvel up there. I still collect a lot of 6-scale. Ninja Turtle 6-scale right there. I just don't collect. I don't have 1 through 500 Hot Toys like I used to do or something like that. But once you encounter a 6-scale figure for the first time, you start to justify that budget. And I would imagine everybody that has more than 5 Hot Toys, there was a time in their life they couldn't have imagined spending that kind of money on a collectible. You go, oh, right now if you buy 5 Hot Toys, you're going to spend $1,500, $1,600 right now. Even buying them at retail. By the time it's shipped to you and so forth, $1,500, $1,600. If you said, I bet you'll pay $1,500 for 5 figures 3 years ago, people would be like, no, that will never ever happen. That's not for me. But then you encounter it, and especially if you encounter a really good collection that's displayed nice and lit up and you can see it all, you start down that rabbit hole. It's a gateway collectible. It's an endpoint gateway collectible. Most people don't jump right to Hot Toys. Some do. They probably collected a bunch of things along the way, but then they go, oh, that's where I really want to be. That's where I really want to be. Now, after Hot Toys, we go to number 5, and that is autographs. And I think we're a good testament of that as a family recently. Autographs have become certainly a gateway for us. And I think it's twofold, right? You can get the autographs that you get, like in Loot Crate boxes or Pro Wrestling Crate or whatever. You get signed 8 by 10 sent to you. That's a certain form of gateway. There are people that just broadly collect autographs. They buy pre-autographed pictures, pops, whatever, as long as they have authentication, or maybe you don't care about authentication. But then I think the more gateway addictive is meeting the person to have an autograph. And I used to say, I probably have said on this channel, that going to meet someone to get their autograph is not a thing I will pay for. I don't care that much. And I don't get starstruck. It's not a thing that happens to me. I just don't. I would never, ever pay, still today, the price it would take to get a Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man autograph or a Chris Hemsworth Thor. It's like $1,000+. But what has become fun for us is meeting voice actors that are $40, $30, $50 to get autographed. And we get it on a pop. And the autograph looks cool, and it's a good thing to display. It looks really nice. People admire it. But then you also have the memory from meeting the person. And we've had extensive positive experiences. We've had we haven't had one negative experience meeting a person. And we've only had a handful that are just kind of neutral, where they just say, hey, thank you, and sign it, and you move on. You're there for like 10 seconds. Almost all of the experiences we've had meeting voice actors and wrestlers and such, you get 2 minutes, 3 minutes, sometimes more than that. And they share stories with you, and they enjoy seeing your collection and all that. I never thought I would be that. But it was, I think specifically, when David and I were on the mission 4 years ago, I think it's the summer of 2018, maybe 2019, and we went to several cons and got our skateboards, our Ninja Turtle skateboards autographed. And we met all the Toon voice actors and most of the movie bodysuit wearers. And that was such a fun experience to do together, to enjoy together, to get to experience it together and meet these people that were formative parts of our life. And then it became a gateway. And I was going to do that because it's something to do with David, and that's it. I can just do this, and that's it. Next thing I know, I've got it on a list now of all the people we've met. It's like 100 people we've met and got autographed pops from. Not all autographed pops, but I've met a ton of wrestlers. I've met a lot of Dragon Ball actors, and My Hero Academia actors, and Demon Slayer actors, and Sailor Moon actors, and G.I. Joe people, and they're all positive experiences, but it all started with the first one. And once you get that first one, it's a gateway. And I honestly think that's why, like, NECA, for instance, is putting the Kevin Eastman autograph and the Fugitoid figure, and the Judith Hoad figure has an autograph. And those are $100 and they're expensive. But I think it's that gateway. It's the attempt to get you into it. Hey, look how cool this is. Why don't you just buy a regular figure and you take it to get autographed? And next thing you know, that's what you're doing. So autograph figures, autograph pops, certainly a different way to collect, but once you get one, if you have a positive experience, I think you still keep going down that rabbit hole, and it makes you dive further into that. You end up collecting other things from that person, or that person was really kind to me. Let me watch something else they're in that I've never seen before. And then you like it, and then you want to buy a collectible from that. And I think that's something that's at least happened for us. If you aren't relating to that, you wouldn't understand, but if you've had some positive experiences with autographs, you'll see that you want more and more and more. Number 4 gateway collectibles are cards. And this is kind of the last not figure related one for spoilers. Cards, all forms of cards, sports cards, wrestling cards, Pokemon cards, they are their own gateway collectible, right? Just buy a pack. Come on, just buy a single pack. You'll like it. You'll like it. You'll get to see all this cool art. You'll get to see cool things. You'll get representation of people you like. And then you open the pack, you go, well, I don't know any of these people. I didn't get any wrestler I like. I didn't get any of the rare Pokemon. I didn't get any football players that I like or basketball players. I don't even know who these people are. Well, I can spend $4.99 again. Let me go get a second pack. Well, I didn't get anything I wanted. I didn't get an autograph. I really would like to get a wrestling autograph. Well, go on eBay and spend $10 and get the wrestling autograph, or $50 or $30 or whatever. No, I'm going to buy a booster box. $129. It guarantees I get an autograph. And then you go through all that and you go, well, this was not an autograph I wanted. I'm going to do it again. And I think it is such an addictive nature in the card game. And I stay away. I mean, I used to collect baseball cards in mass in the 90s when everybody did. I had so many. I don't even know where those are. They may still exist. Mom's house, something. I don't know. But we do Pokemon cards with Kaya, but I don't get involved in it. I mean, you see me open them with them, participate with her, I'll play the game with her. But they're hers. I don't want to start chasing anything. I'm just going to buy them from her, let her enjoy them the way she wants to enjoy them. And she likes to look at the art. But there are some she'd like to have more of. We're trying to complete full sets of things and so forth. It's the gateway. Like, it is the epitome. You got to get them all. And you got to open another pack to see what you get. And even if you're just trying to flip them, you still buy more and more and more. And if you really looked at the business proposition, would you be making money in the long run? Or are you kind of recouping your money? I don't know. So that's certainly a gateway thing. And people forever have bought packs of cards that don't buy anything else. You know, I think that falls also with Matchbox cards. I know it's different, but I think people collect Matchbox and end up somewhere else too because it's cheap. These are really low cost, easy to get collectibles that open the door to something else. So number 4 is cards. All right, number 3 is SH Figuarts. And this is speaking from personal experience, but I think a lot of people can relate. Figuarts is a gateway to the world of imported figures if you're in America, right? Figuarts are in Target. They're in Walmart. You can find a little Dragon Ball one. You can find a Naruto one, anime ones. But they also had Figuarts in Barnes & Noble, right? You could get Marvel SH Figuarts in Barnes & Noble a few years ago. You could get Ninja Turtles Figuarts in Barnes & Noble a few years ago. They do come, because of Bluefin, their distribution arm, they will bring certain brands into America and into our retail stores. You can still see Marvel Figuarts in GameStop. And they're expensive, but you see them. But the ones that are in Target and Walmart, like the Goku, is like $30, $35. And you pick it up and you go, what is this? And I can remember the first time I handled a Figuart. It was probably, I think it was an Iron Man. I got probably from Barnes & Noble an Iron Man Figuart with the Hull of Armor. And I had a coupon at Barnes & Noble or membership or whatever, and it was like $60. And I took it home and I had the Hull of Armor and it lit up and I messed the Iron Man. I'm like, why am I spending money on other things? These are awesome. Their articulation is awesome. I don't see pins. It comes with all these effects. This is awesome. Maybe the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt's not very good, but I'm not displaying my Iron Man figure with the head sculpt. I'm displaying it with the helmet. This is cool. Huh, where does this come from? Oh, it's an imported figure. Well, what else is there in the import world? And you learn about Mafex. And then you learn about Revoltech, Amazing Yamaguchi type stuff, or other Revoltech things. And you learn about Figma. And you start to go, oh, there's a whole world of things that I was not aware of because we don't see them on our retail stores. And then you all of a sudden become an import collector. And you're paying 3, 4, 5 times, sometimes more than that. And then you start to learn, all right, how can I make this cheaper? I want to import this myself from the sites in Asia. I don't want to have to pay Barnes & Noble price. I want to get it myself imported in. And you start to figure out a way to do that, right? And next thing you know, you're an import collector of all sorts of things. And Figuarts, I think, is the one that gets you there. It's the gateway that gets you there. Because you don't walk up on a Mafex figure. You don't see that anywhere. You don't walk up on Revoltech figures. Sure, if you're going to niche stores, right? Like I can remember the store in New York City, Anime something. Anime Export? No, Anime Export's a website. There was a store in New York City in Manhattan that was awesome. That had all these Figuarts displayed in fighting scenes, and their old store was glass cases. They only have an online presence, I think, now. But I remember going there and going, oh my gosh, I had no idea all these things existed. And these look way better than my collection at home. Let me buy those, right? But normally it's a Figuart that you see for the first time because they're a little bit lower cost than Mafex. They come out a little more accurately and on time with when they say they're going to come out. They tend to release with the movies. You can get them on Amazon. Sometimes you get them discounted and you go, oh, this is cool. I like this. And next thing you know, you're buying Sentinel Into the Spider-Verse figures, and you're buying the one that comes with a diorama, and it's $200 for a 1/12 scale figure. It's the gateway of Figuarts, right? I think a lot of people also move away from Figuarts once they find some of the other brands. And this also can lead you to brands like Mezco, right? Domestic premium figures, like a Mezco figure that's also in that $80, $90, $100 price point, but is much nicer than what you see at the Walmart shelf. And I think Figuarts really is the gateway that gets you there. Number 2, and this is a broad category, but we're going to say Marvel Legends, Black Series, WWE Elite, G.I. Joe Classified, Power Rangers Lightning Collection, the AEW figures, NECA, the mass retail figure. We're just going to use the term Marvel Legends as I talk further about it, but I'm meaning all of that, right? Like whatever your fandom is, the things that either Hasbro or Mattel or NECA or McFarlane are making and putting out in Walmart and Target in the United States. That figure, right? It's different for us depending on our fandom. If you're a horror fan, if you're a DC fan, a Marvel fan, a Star Wars fan, a wrestling fan, whatever. It's different. But those, the mass market figures, they are the second biggest, in my opinion, gateway to anything, right? I can remember the first time I saw Marvel Legends, a long time ago, 10 plus years ago. But you look at it and you go, huh, well, that doesn't quite look like the toy I had when I was a kid. That looks a lot better. And I'm talking Toy Biz. That looks a lot better. And maybe you don't buy it at the time. But then you go to a friend's house. I remember going to my friend Damien's house, and he had a lot of the DC icons, I think they were. A lot of DC figures. And he had a bunch of Marvel Legends, and I started playing with those. I'm like, oh, these are fun. Let me see what I can find. And then I found like the Diamond Green Arrow figures, and I liked the Green Arrow television show, and I bought a bunch of those. And it was, this is cool, this is $20, and it is a great representation of a thing that I like. I'm going to get it. And everybody here watching this video, I would bet, unless you don't collect things, has owned at least one Marvel Legends or Black Series or NECA figure or McFarlane figure or wrestling figure. You own at least one. And I would bet a great deal of you have owned a big collection of them, and also a big amount of you have sold a bunch of them, right? Marvel Legends, Black Series, those are the things you see bought and sold the most. You see new collectors coming in and going, oh my goodness, these action figures are awesome, I'm going to buy a bunch of them. And then you learn about things higher on this list, Figuarts or Hot Toys or statues or whatever, and you go, ooh, these Marvel Legends don't look quite as good anymore. I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm now going to collect Mezco. Or I'm now going to collect Hot Toys. I'm going to get rid of all my Legends or my Black Series or whatever. But you had them. They were your gateway, and you would have never got to Hot Toys if you hadn't been introduced to Marvel Legends first, right? So those that are on the toy shelf specifically to get you to buy them, right? The distribution is a mess right now, but they're trying real hard. They've got all the Thor figures on the shelf the weekend Thor came out because they know you're going to go see it. I want to go buy that cool Thor figure in the gold new costume. I want it. I want a representation of that. Or a kid wants it, right? But I think they know they're targeting the adults. But a kid wants, there it is. It's on the shelf. Boom. Oh, there's a Build-A-Figure. I like Korg. Korg was funny in that movie. Well, you got to buy all of them to get Korg? Fine. I'll buy all of them. Then I get to have Korg. Yay. And then the next wave comes out and it's the same thing, right? The Build-A-Figure aspect, that most of those companies have some form of build-a-something. I think only NECA hasn't really done a build-a-thing that I can think of. McFarlane does. Mattel does. Hasbro does. Build-a-something has usually existed in some of those lines. So that is certainly, for a lot of people, the big gateway. Now, the number one gateway collectible. I did a panel on Dragon Con of this several years ago with Damien called Funko Pops. Are they the gateway drug of the collecting universe or something like that? Because almost all of us have owned Funko Pops. Almost all of us say we don't collect Funko Pops and still have some. Or still buy one every once in a while. Like right here, I've got the Krang Funko Pop. I try to not buy Funko Pops anymore unless it's to get autographed. But I'm like, that thing is cool. I'm getting it. I have sitting here the dinosaur, the baby from the show Dinosaurs, not the mama. I love that show. Victoria got me for that for Christmas. I love that pop. Why? Because I like dinosaurs, not the mom. I like that. I have an affinity for that, a nostalgia for that. Nobody else is going to make anything like that. So you've got Funko, who has got to have the greatest IP, intellectual property lawyers in the world, negotiating licenses. We want licenses for this and licenses for this. They got a license for everything. They make a Funko Pop that every single person in your life would like. Someone would like. Would go, I didn't know they made Queen's Gambit Pops, but I really liked that show on Netflix. I'm going to buy this. Just this. Just this never lasts for very long, does it? And I think Funko Pops truly are the gateway. Almost everybody moves on. Like, another element of a gateway is you leave the gateway behind as you go further down the rabbit hole. I stopped doing the thing that got me involved because I'm doing much better things now. Things that give me more of that, whatever it is that I'm seeking after. And I think Funko Pops truly are the one. You don't see a lot of Funko Pop only collectors anymore. There certainly are some. There's a lot of Funko Pop YouTube channels. But most people that started with Funko Pops now collect Black Series or Hot Toys or Marvel Legends or import figures or whatever the case may be. Even when they grew massive Funko Pop collections, they end up selling them, usually not for much profit or at a loss, and moving on, right? And moving on. And those people that used to own 250 Funko, I used to have like 1,000 Funko Pops. I probably don't. If you disqualify the ones that are signed, I probably own less than 10. We probably have about 100 when you talk about signed ones. But if you disqualify ones that aren't signed, we have about 10. And the Funko Pops that I used to own, you're like, these suck. I don't want these anymore. Look how cool a NECA turtle is. Why would I want a little statue? Funko Pop statue. Those same people spent thousands of dollars on Funko Pops before and thought they were cool and chased after them and wanted to get the exclusives and the chases and all this stuff, right? It truly is the gateway. Funko teaches you the exclusive game. Oh, I got to get a Hot Topic exclusive or a GameStop exclusive or an Amazon exclusive or a random website online exclusive that I've never heard of before. They teach you the chase game. Oh, I want to get a chase. Do I got to buy 6 of these to hope that I get a chase? Ooh, I got to get up early and be there as it releases. They taught you the online sellout debacle. Things on the Funko shop come online. They sell out really fast, right? Funko Hollywood, they taught you Comic-Con exclusives. You go and I wait in line all day to hopefully get a Comic-Con exclusive. Funko has done all of that and has been doing it for a decade plus. Something like that, right? And then they also teach, you like pop. What about sodas? I know a lot of people didn't like these. What about Dorbs? Oh, Funko owns Loungefly now. Funko just bought Mondo, right? They keep coming with the different elements of gateway collectors. And I think they are undisputed in my mind, the number one gateway collectible. I bet most people that are deep Marvel Legends collectors started at Funko or started with a version of Funko. Those are pretty close, 1 and 2. But I really think Funko is number one. Let me know your thoughts. What's the thing that got you started collecting or grew your collection to where you are? What is the item, the line that you discover and go, I got to go all in on this? Leave that in the comments. Keep the conversation going. I hope you're enjoying these videos. Again, please subscribe if you haven't. Continue to use hashtag #BeatUpFit. And we'll talk to you tomorrow for another hunt video. And I think we'll talk about our thoughts on Thor in that video. And then Sunday, you'll get some more fun with Steve eating weird stuff for Dub Life. All right, talk to you next time. Squeeze it.